You're watching BetSafe. We're here at St George's Park ahead of England versus Scotland this Saturday. And if we can just have a little shot over there. This is the hotel where the England players stop. All the rooms along there will be used by the England players as we speak, and including Gareth Southgate right on the end. There's a little bigger room with a meeting room where you can meet up with all his coaches and discuss tactics at the end of the day. Now with me is Nick Collins. We've just spoken to Marcus Rashford. First of all, he probably thought that he wouldn't be here because everybody was speaking about him going away to Poland with the under-21s.
Yeah, that's right. And I must admit, from a personal level, I was really looking forward to seeing how he might get on in that kind of tournament context. He's played one game for the under-21s and he scored a hat-trick. And even though he was the youngest player, he clearly looked as if he could make a big difference. Having said all that, I totally understand and get why Gareth Southgate's changed his mind and decided instead of giving him that tournament experience, he wants him with the seniors because he's proved he is one of England's senior players now. His performances for Manchester United this season, especially when you think that Ibrahimovic has been injured over the closing weeks, Wayne Rooney hasn't quite been able to force his way back into the team always on a regular basis, but Marcus Rashford has kept going. He's played in different positions. He's shown what a really good player he can be. And I think you have to, from Gareth Southgate's point of view, decide if it gives us a better chance of having a victory against Scotland with him in the side or with him in the squad coming off the bench, then yes, so be it. So it's a shame from one point of view, from the under-21s perspective, but from England and the chance for Marcus Rashford to continue his development, then yeah, it's the right decision. But yeah, you're right also in that I think he probably originally would have been expecting to go to the under-21s.
Yeah, I think it's a decision that obviously he's had to think about and what's best for England as a country and for me as a player. And for me, it's just waiting for him to make the decision. I'm thankful that he's made that decision, and I'm happy to be with the seniors and to continue my development. And I think we both look at it on the same side of things, so it's important to be on the same page. It's something that you look forward to, being selected for your country as a whole. You know, you've got the under-20s that are out in Korea doing well, the 21s that are about to go into a tournament. So I think whatever age group you're called upon, it's important that you have the mindset where you're going to achieve great things.
Now, when Marcus Rashford first walked out, Nick, I mean, you have to remember he's 19 years of age. Goodness knows what we were like at 19 years of age, but he sat there in front of a crowded press room, and I was really taken by the way that he handled himself and the situation that he found himself in.
Yeah, Pete, I couldn't agree more. Really accomplished, very poised. It's the first time I've really seen him sitting top table in a major news conference like that when I've been in the room, and I have to say I was mightily impressed with him. He is a young man with a very clear vision of where he wants to go. Huge ambition, as you'd expect, but quietly spoken as well. Doesn't exaggerate anything, but he's clearly got a very strong sense of how good he can be as long as he stays and continues to learn from his senior teammates around him and from the coaching staff. And that's exactly what you seem to get from Marcus Rashford, a player totally focused, who has improved in leaps and bounds, who says he's a far better all-round player with a better vision than perhaps 12 months ago. I mean, and that season when he burst on the scene, I mean, he was amazing with the number of goals he scored in a short period of time. He has continued getting better. He's not the unknown quantity that he was then, but even so, he still proved that he can unlock some of the best defences in the world. So he's going to be such an asset for England going forward, and it's great to see that he's also another one of this younger generation of players who is very much at ease in front of the camera and able to articulate extremely well in terms of his hopes and his ambitions.
It's a process, and I'm taking it step by step, and I'm happy playing the role that I'm playing so far. It's just about being ready to start, like you say, being ready to make the impact if I'm on the bench and I need to come on. So yeah, going into the game, I've got good thoughts. I think all that it's proved playing is that the development is happening to everybody else. To me, I already know that it's happening because I know that I'm working hard in training every day, and I can see the development in myself. But for me to be playing the games and scoring some goals, it just shows, it's just proof of the development.
12 months ago, you were in France getting ready for Euro 2016. You were saying you feel you have improved, and that was what I wanted to ask you about. You clearly have, but what specific areas do you feel you've improved most in these last 12 months?
I think there's a lot of areas. I mean, my all-round game has gone to another level, and the way my brain thinks when I'm in certain situations on the pitch is different to what it was a year ago. So, like I said, I'm happy with my development, and I hope it continues.
You've come through quickly, as we know you're the youngest in this squad. Do you feel, though, that your generation, the 18, 19, 20-year-olds, are actually going to be pushing the current England squad even harder over the next 12 months as we get ready for a World Cup?
I think it's clear to see, really. I mean, the younger age groups in England, the under-21s, the under-20s, the 19s, right the way through to the under-16s, you know, they're always pushing themselves, and you can see them battling for trophies. They're in finals. The under-20s are out in a semi-final now. We expect the under-21s to go out there and have a good tournament. So it's clear that there's a lot of young talents in England, and as long as we can get them playing and keep on coming through the system, then I think it's massive for England.
Marcus Rashford couldn't hide those Mancunian tones, Nick, and of course we've had a couple of awful atrocities over the last couple of weeks in both Manchester and the capital, and although we want to be talking about football, we want to be talking and concentrating on the fun of sport, this subject came up, didn't it, in the press conference, and the young 19-year-old handled it well.
Oh yes, he did, didn't he? I mean, he obviously has been to the hospital in Manchester where some of the victims of that terrorist explosion are still recovering, and he did make the point that, look, it wasn't something we had to do, it was something he wanted to do. Fantastic, and as you said, a 19-year-old to want to do that. But as he said, he knew friends of friends that had been affected by what happened that terrible night. So it was a great thing to do. It showed his growing maturity, but also I think it's just a reflection that he knows that you can't live in a bubble. You might be on your way to being a multi-millionaire footballer and a superstar, but he absolutely gets that because he's in a position to make a difference, as he said, that it's vital that he does so. He realises he's going to be a role model to younger people. And players of that age in the past have perhaps not cottoned onto that, certainly not at that age. And that's what I certainly took from it. The fact that already at the age of 19, he appreciates the fact that he is a role model and that he has to be seen to behave that way, but that he can affect things because he is becoming a major star, very much in the line of Harry Kane, okay, who's 4 years older. But the two of them, in a sense, are almost cut from the same cloth, but in terms of the way they perceive themselves as footballers within society.
The things that are happening around the country and around the world, you know, they're not good things, and it's disappointing to hear about the attacks in Manchester and the attacks in London. And you know, we're with all the families as much as we can be, and it's important that the families know that, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to go and visit the hospitals. You know, we're doing as much as we can to try and support all the families and the victims of the attack, and things like the concert and going to the hospitals, it just shows the families and people around the city that, you know, everyone's together, and we have to fight it together. It was basically up to us, you know. We was in our spare time and we wasn't doing anything, so we thought, why not? And it's something that we wanted to do, but we didn't have the time to do when the season was still going on. But as soon as we had time off, we thought it was important that we went and done that. It's, you know, you feel proud being able to make a difference, and if you can make a difference, I think it's important that you do. And going there and just literally just seeing some of the victims just smiling and having a laugh, it gives you a good feeling, and you know, you wanna recreate that moment as much as you can. Friends of friends were obviously affected. You know, Manchester's a small place, and it was more than likely that I was gonna know someone that was a victim in there. So yeah, it's difficult times, but it doesn't go out just to them people. It goes out to all the families.
Well, it's been an incredible 12 months for Marcus Rashford, an incredible season, and who, I'm guessing at the start of it, would not have seen himself in the full England squad, and his captain, Wayne Rooney, not involved at all.
No, but it was interesting to hear what Marcus had to say about Wayne Rooney, that he does genuinely believe that his Manchester United teammate will be back in the England setup next season, fighting for his place and showing how valuable he can be. Well, only time will tell if he's proved correct on that one. But it was noticeable that he paid tribute to Wayne Rooney and Zlatan Ibrahimovic in terms of how much they've helped teach him. But equally, he almost, if you like, paid tribute to himself by saying that I've been able to absorb it and move on a level. And although it may have surprised a lot of people that he's gone up a level or two this season, perhaps he himself hasn't been that surprised by his development, because that's what he's been aiming for throughout his life, building towards that. But yes, he clearly believes that Wayne Rooney still has an England future. Obviously,
the way that both the players that you've mentioned, the way they think, the mentality is towards the game, they're the biggest things that I can take from their game. And I think with them type of players, whether they're here for the next 5 years or however long they're here for, you never stop learning from them. And there's so many examples, both for club and country. Yeah, knowing Wayne it's nowhere near over, and the abilities that he has and the things he can do on and off the pitch and the effect he has on all the players, he's still got a lot to do in his career, and there's still a lot of trophies that England hope to be playing for.
Thanks, Nick. Marcus Rashford, will he start? Won't he start? Check out all the latest odds for this weekend's internationals on betsafe.com, and join us tomorrow when we'll be speaking with Harry Kane.